They said it was a gift, a kind gesture, a roof over my head. But when they dropped those rusty keys into my palm, chuckled, and told me the house was worth maybe $1,000 if you're lucky, I knew. It wasn't kindness. It was punishment, wrapped in laughter. I was 7 months pregnant when everything shattered. One minute, James, my husband, was cracking jokes on the way to dinner. The next, I was in a hospital hallway, soaked from the rain, staring at the red light above the emergency room door, and praying like I never had before. They told me he might never wake up. Severe head trauma, the doctor said. Coma. Indefinite. And while I stood there, heart in my throat, hands cradling the child growing inside me, his family came in sharp as knives and cold as stone. His mother, Dolores, didn't even look at me, just stared through me and said, "You've done enough damage." His brothers nodded, arms crossed, like they were here for a business meeting, not their own flesh and blood. "This wouldn't have happened if he wasn't so distracted by you," one of them said. And just like that, I was out, cut off. No support, no sympathy. Within a week, they took everything. Bank accounts, frozen. The business, under family management now. Our apartment cleared out. And me, I was handed a stack of legal papers I didn't understand, and a set of keys to a crumbling house on the edge of a forgotten town. "Since you're so set on being part of the family," Dolores sneered, "make yourself useful." I stood in the rain that afternoon, belly-heavy feet sinking into the mud outside that wreck of a house. No windows, no electricity. Holes in the roof so wide the sky practically lived inside. My shoes squelched on the rotted wood as I stepped inside. It wasn't a home. It was an insult. But I remember gripping the doorway and whispering, "If this is where they want me to end, this is where I'll begin." Days blurred into survival. I cleaned houses for cash, took the city bus to the hospital every evening, packed leftovers into napkins just to eat. I spoke to James every day, even though he couldn't hear me, or maybe he could. I'd press his hand against my belly and say, "She's growing, baby, but she needs you. I need you." People whispered, neighbors, nurses, even strangers in the cafeteria. "Isn't she the one they say caused the accident? Still living in that shack? What's she hanging on for?" And just when I thought I couldn't take more, the doctor called me into his office. He looked tired, hesitant. I sat down, and before I could even brace myself, he said, "James's family. They asked me to pull him off life support." Everything inside me went cold. "They think it's time," he added. "That prolonging this is cruel. That you're clinging to false hope." I didn't scream. I didn't argue. I just stood up, left his office, and cried so hard I didn't feel the rain when it started falling again. That night in that freezing, broken house, I curled up in the corner, whispering to my belly, "They want him gone, but I'm not letting go." Weeks passed. Then one afternoon I was sweeping out the main room, what used to be a kitchen maybe, when the broom caught something under the floorboard. It thudded, hollow. I knelt, moved aside the broken slats, and there it was, a metal box. Rusted, sealed tight, buried beneath the dust of a life forgotten. I pried it open, breath stuck in my throat, and nearly dropped it. Cash, gold, deeds, account info. And at the top, a note in James's handwriting. "For her, in case I can't protect you." I clutched that box like it was oxygen. The next morning I found a lawyer who didn't mind the mud on my shoes. He looked at every document twice, then said, This is real. Your husband hid this for you." Piece by piece I sold what I could. Quietly, carefully. Paid off James's hospital bills in full. The staff who once gave me side eyes now called me ma'am. I wasn't invisible anymore. I fixed the roof with my own hands, bought a crib, painted one wall pink, and when my daughter was born, crying tiny with James's same stubborn chin, I held her and whispered, "He's waiting for you, baby girl, and we're gonna bring him back." I brought her to the hospital every day, carried her in a sling, let her grip James's finger, sang to him, talked to him like he was just asleep. I didn't care who was watching anymore. And then, it happened. One day she laughed, a pure baby giggle that bounced off the hospital walls, and James's finger twitched. Then again, monitors beeped. A nurse gasped. I dropped to my knees beside his bed, choking on tears. James, we're here. We're still here. He blinked, groggy, confused. But he was there. His recovery wasn't a straight line, but I walked every inch of it with him. When he was strong enough, I told him everything. About his family, the keys, the shack, the box, the nights I thought I'd break, but didn't. He didn't say a word, just clenched his fists, jaw tight, eyes burning. They tried to erase you, he finally said, but they're about to find out who I really am. We filed a case. The documents from the box, solid gold. Paper trails, ownership, bank records. Everything they tried to bury, we unearthed. Court day came. James walked in slow but proud. I held our daughter's hand, his mother pale, his brothers silent. Testimony after testimony, witness after witness. Even the doctor admitted yes, they'd asked him to end James's life. The courtroom was so quiet you could hear hearts break. When the verdict came down, James's assets restored family trust, revoked everything legally. His again. I looked at those same people who once laughed in my face and didn't say a word. They didn't deserve my voice. A week later, they came to our door. Dolores and Pearls, the brothers looking like wet dogs. We made a mistake, one of them mumbled. James didn't yell. He didn't slam the door. He just looked them in the eye and closed it, quietly, firmly. And in that silence, I felt free. We didn't need revenge. The truth did all the talking. From a house worth $1,000 and broken dreams, we built something stronger than they could ever understand. Tell me something, y'all. Do you think people like that deserve forgiveness? Have you ever been blamed, erased, pushed to the edge just to rise back stronger? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you believe justice always finds its way, hit that like button and subscribe. Someone out there needs to hear this today. They said it was a gift, a kind gesture, a roof over my head. But when they dropped those rusty keys into my palm, chuckled, and told me the house was worth maybe $1,000 if you're lucky, I knew. It wasn't kindness. It was punishment, wrapped in laughter. I was 7 months pregnant when everything shattered. One minute, James, my husband, was cracking jokes on the way to dinner. The next, I was in